Welcome to our session. My name is Diego Pantoja Navajas. I am the VP of AWS Supply Chain. Really thankful for you guys being here today. There's a lot of sessions that you guys can go, so thank you very much for making time to be in our session today. I'm very honored and humbled that we're going to share this presentation with Tracy Simpson, who is VP of Supply Chain for Woodside Energy. So thank you very much for being here and for coming all the way from Australia to be with us today. So thank you very much for that. We're going to cover a lot of material based on what we have launched, where we're focusing on improving our application. Also, Tracy will come on stage and talk a little bit about the work that we've been doing together and all the services that they're using right now in testing in Woodside. So let me start now. So just to give you a little bit of information about our product, we launched this product last year here at re:Invent. And we were very excited that we announced this application a year ago. The application that we launched, it was really focused to help our customers to understand how we can use data as the main component in terms of how we can help companies to solve their supply chain issues. And if you think about data and the relevance of data in supply chain, if we want to build a more resilient supply chain, if we want to be able to help our customers to lower cost, if we want to be able to help our customers to make the experience for their customers better, data is very important. And with that data element in mind, and with a data-first approach, we build this application, thinking about how we're going to be able to help our customers to understand that we can coexist with different applications that they already have within their different supply chain applications that they manage across the board. So we wanted to focus on that. And then after we previewed the product, we quickly GA the application in April of this year. So it was a very fast turnaround. Since then, we've been focusing and working very closely with different companies across different verticals in retail, CPG companies, oil and gas, and also governmental agencies. And what has been very interesting that we see that, of course, supply chain is very centric to every operations of these type of companies and others. And supply chains are very important for them to be able to function, to be able to work. But we saw a very common trend of issues across all these different companies, and issues related to things that we already know, which is related to components and labor shortages. We saw, of course, different natural events that have affected supply chains over the last couple of years. We saw also disputes in terms of trading between the largest economies in the world. We also saw a capacity issue in logistics across the board, and many others. So issues are affecting supply chains, and issues are affecting our companies' ability to react more or fast to all these disruptions. And so we saw a very common trend across the board. And one of the things that we were able to analyze is that data was that element that is helping supply chain companies to really have a more resilient solution. So when we launched this application, we really thought about how we're going to be able to help our customers to go through that. And the way we thought about solving these issues and being able to provide customers with a better answer to these disruptions and to mitigate these issues, it was to focus on how we can get data from all these different dispersed systems. Companies have a very vast network of systems that they operate, from ERP solutions, WMS systems, TMS, point of sales, third-party systems for internal legacy applications, and others that they have built to solve specific issues. And then all of them are being running in a different data format. They have different data structures. They have different upgrade or update cycles, depending on if you're a cloud or on-premise application. So it's very difficult to maintain these ecosystems of applications and being able to consolidate and aggregate all this information to be able to get a single source of truth in terms of supply chain data. So one of the things that we did is using machine learning models that we have used and pre-trained. We help extracting this data, understanding this data, transforming this information, harmonizing all this data into our canonical data model. At the end of the day, for us, an order is an order, a shipment is a shipment, regardless of where that information is coming from. And at the end of the day, what we wanted to make sure is that we were able to aggregate all that information into a supply chain data lake. So we have built an AWS Supply Chain data lake that really is the key component of this application. And is the fundamental component where we keep all that information that then we use in different modules that we have added to AWS Supply Chain. So it's really the foundation for this application. But having that information now and being able to consolidate and aggregate that information has helped our customers in solving better demand forecasts for their businesses, being able to have much better lead time and inventory visibility, and being able to react in how they collaborate within the same company. Supply chain is not just one department issue. Supply chain is across the different the different departments within one business. Finance, procurement, logistics, and others, they need to be connected to make sure that that supply chain is effective and can be resilient and solve our customer requirements. So with that information also, we were excited by leveraging the 30+ years of AWS and Amazon.com experience supply chain. We added a very important layer of ML-powered insights. And that's providing real-time information and insights to our customers about their operations. And that was very important for us. And with that same mentality, we're thinking to continue to expand our application in different areas. And we think that because of the simplicity of our application, customers have told us that they really want to expand these capabilities upstream. So this is where we're going to continue to go. This morning, there was an announcement, and there's a lot of new cool things coming up that we announced in terms of how we're going to be able to help our customers to mitigate issues, not only downstream, but also help customers to mitigate supply chain issues upstream. And what I mean by upstream is how we can connect better to suppliers, how we can connect better to get data in a much easier way so we can collaborate and get in a real-time information, data that we need to make sure that we're replenishing our products better, we're positioning our products better, we're helping our customers to really understand where they can reduce cost, how they can collaborate with all the departments within their own businesses. So there's a lot of new services that are going to help us. Now, if you think about the main topic of reInvent and what you heard probably, hopefully you went to Adam's keynote this morning, there was a big focus on AI. And there was a big focus on Gen AI. And one of the things that we believe is that having access to your own data in a very secure way to understand your needs is very important. So all the Gen AI capabilities that we're building around supply chain is also following the same mental model where we're helping our companies and customers to really get access to that information that we have in our supply chain data lake so you guys can leverage Gen AI to be able to answer questions that are needed for your operation to be more efficient. And we're focusing very much in questions that are going to be relevant to what is happening in your supply chain, why is that occurring, and what are the what-if scenarios. And by helping our customers accessing that data in our supply chain data lake and being able to answer those questions, we believe we're going to be able to provide a much better operational efficiency to our customers in different areas across their supply chain. So it's very important that as we continue to expand the quality and quantity of our supply chain data lake, we're going to be able to answer questions much faster for our customers and be able to not only summarize that information, present it in an easy way, and also give our customers the ability to solve all those complex scenarios that sometimes takes a lot of time and effort to combine different efforts or data sets to be able to get to a specific answer. So we are very excited about where we're going and that data-first approach that we took by creating this application. Okay, so just for you, for some of you that are not very familiar with our application, let me give you a quick demo of the system. And we always start with our dashboard. And this dashboard is critical for us and for you guys as customers to be able to see your most relevant KPIs and insights. And one of the things that we do from there, as you saw in the quick video, is that we want to start from getting data into our supply chain data lake. And we have multiple data sources that you can select. These are being pre-built, out-of-the-box connectors to multiple ERP systems or other applications that you can take. You can select that source, and then by verifying the data source, you can easily connect that data and create the supply chain data lake that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. So we hydrate that information, and from there, you can start getting all of that information and contextualize that data, which is very important. One of the most important things that customers told us is, now that I have the information, how can I contextualize that information and see in real time where the inventory is? And we're very excited is with that, we can help our customers to understand by location, where is that inventory, and then from there, we can start easily get them to understand what are the insights that are happening in each of those locations. So this quickly showing you what are the different inventory levels that you have for those SKUs across the board. You can easily select what are the recommendations that the system is giving you in terms of how you rebalance that inventory across your network. And also is giving you a clear scorecard that is telling you why we selected this option for you. And when the algorithms run and provide this visibility to you, the system is clearly doing a quick analysis in terms of what is going to be your CO2 emissions in terms of rebalancing inventory, how much is going to cost us to move that inventory from one location to the other, but most importantly is how is going to be the inventory across the entire supply chain when we move inventory from location A to location B. Because at the end of the day, we need to take in consideration that by pulling inventory from one location, we're not going to put that location at risk, but that location has enough inventory to cover the demand for the next 7, 20, or 21 days based on how you want to keep that inventory in your supply chain. So we do a quick analysis of that. Now, a lot of this is automated, but also in supply chain, like I said before, you need to be able to collaborate a lot within your different peers or different departments. So one of the things that we are very excited is that we were able to create build a collaboration capabilities within the same application, taking in consideration the different selections or options that you have done in terms of selecting the best rebalancing option for your business. And then you can collaborate without losing track of what are you discussing, what are the areas that you want to focus, so you have a much better traceability of what are the decisions that your company is making in terms of moving inventory or doing other execution tasks within the application. So that's not everything. Of course, we're going to go and cover a little bit more in deep other areas. But it's very important to continue developing and adding more capabilities to the application. One of the important things is that if we think about SaaS applications are never going to be done, never going to be complete. Because we continue to add more and more functionality. There's not custom applications. We're building applications to serve multiple industries, like I said at the beginning of the session. We want to make sure that any capabilities that we build can be used across the board. So it takes a lot of time to internalize and also productize all those capabilities. And so we will continue to invest in those areas. And this year, one of the areas that we wanted to make sure that we continue to invest is in how we can help our customers to have a much better connectivity, besides all the great enhancements that we provided when we launched the application. So we needed to make sure that our customers were able to pull only information that they needed. And what I mean by that is a lot of our customers have created a lot of customization tables within their ERP solutions or other applications that they use. And it's very hard for out-of-the-box transformation capabilities like the ones that we have to extract, transform, and load that data to understand what is base and what is custom tables. So this year, we were able to add additional capabilities to understand what are those custom tables that you need for the systems to pull to take in consideration if you want us to, for example, add more information in our demand planning or more information in terms of insights. So we were able to help in a configurable way capabilities for our customers to pull additional data that they need to make those capabilities much more stronger. Additional is security. We want to make sure that our customers feel secure, that the data is flowing in a safe way, and without having to create or add APIs or without having to opening APIs for us or other ports, we were able to launch AWS Private Link and created a connection between our accounts and your systems. It can be ERPs, other systems, creating a very secure point, end-to-end tunnel between our application and those other third-party applications. So data can flow much more secure between our systems. Also, we wanted to make sure that we continue to break additional silos. So we were able to add an additional layer that is allowing us to bring more data into a staging a table in our application where we can consolidate information and you can select and clean up all those data components that you believe are not correct or needed to be discarded. So that's important because it's giving you another layer of verification before the data goes into our supply chain data lake, so we can make sure that the data that you're using for demand planning or for insights or for other capabilities that we have is clean and is the best possible data that can you use to make sure that the outputs that we generate are accurate for your operation to be more resilient and operate at all times in an efficient way. We also simplify the transformation capabilities. And this is important because, of course, when you launch a product, there's a lot to learn from our customers, and there's nothing better than getting that real-time feedback. And we realized that initially, when we launched the application, we were pulling additional data that was not required in some of the capabilities that we have in the system. So that was taking additional time for us to process that information, and we realized that we needed to be more efficient. So we were able to simplify the scripts that we use in data transformation, and now we have less than 30 scripts that we use to transform all that information, which is very relevant for the efficiency of our supply chain data lake and how we update and create data within our application. Next, we were very excited that one of the first modules that we launched last year is demand planning. And we did a lot of enhancements in demand planning. First, we launched a new UI for our customers to delight our customers and to be able to give them a much better experience. But what is important for us is that with demand planning, the reason why we started with this product is because we wanted to make sure that we were able to get that demand sensing from our customers, being able to get that demand sensing from where they are doing more sales, where the business is doing better. So while we have that information, then we can take the inventory rebalancing capabilities that we have, and we can align that inventory better so we can respond better to those demand sensing capabilities that we have. And that was very exciting for us. Also, we added more than 15 new different capabilities, some of them between product lineage, that is helping our customers really much in terms of how can we forecast for new products and products with little to no demand in history, which is very important when we introduce a new product. Product life cycle and also perpetual forecast has been one of the other key enhancements that we did to the application. One of the things that is also very important is to be able to configure the application in a very fast way. But also, that was very important for our customer, it was that we can react to change the demand forecast that we generate based on different conditions. It could be that we wanted to help our customers to reflect better seasonality based on where the product is. We wanted to be able to provide our customers with better management of promotions or sales on other variables that can really affect the forecast that we generate. So in a fast way, you can do it, and that was very critical for our customers. We also, and last is, like I said, we were able to help our customers to get that better lineage support, and it's critical for them because we realized that in a very demand-driven supply chain, customers have very little history of new products that they introduce to the market. And what I mean by that, some of you that might be in retail or they have different products that are very seasonal, when I introduce a new product, it might be similar to the ones that I have already in my history, but have not generated any demand. In a simple way, I need to be able to give them some sort of history so the algorithms can understand that this type of product, while not being the same, similar to it, I can really get that forecast history and project so forecast and demand for that specific product. And we also wanted to focus a lot in our insights. Our insights have been very important for us and critical in terms of how we've been able to shape our customers' understanding of their data. One thing that we realized over the last, I would say, 8 months since we really GA this product, that customers have different expectations about what is the type of insights that they're getting from the application and how they use those insights. We're very excited that in the very usability of insights. In this case, we're focusing on new work order insights that really is helping our customers. And this is something that we launched this year and something that Tracy will cover a little bit more in detail when she comes on stage, is that we're helping our customers to understand what is the right order level, the visibility, when you really want to plan for maintenance and repair works in different industries. It could be in manufacturing, it can be in oil and gas, it can be anywhere where you want to be able to create a work order to be able to maintain and support the process of repairing and getting an understanding of how you're going to use those capabilities to manage the flow of products from procurement all the way down to the destination where those products are going to be used to repair the specific work that they need to do for that specific repair. So we're very excited that we can provide that depth and visibility, and we're very excited that combining the work order capabilities, combining our demand sensing, combining all those insights, we're providing a very broad set of capabilities that not only go downstream to our customers' needs, but also are allowing us to think about how we're going to continue to evolve these going on an upstream process. And really having that capability to connect the upstream and the downstream process is really what the customers have told us to do. So we are reacting to a lot of our customers' requests in terms of how can we easily manage products in a safe way all the way from our manufacturing sites to the final destination. And that's the focus, and that's the intersection where we see the benefits of where we're coming and we're building this AWS supply chain application. So we're very excited about that. And with that, I really want to change a little bit of gears and have the pleasure to invite Tracy here on stage to really talk about Woodside Energy and their business and explain how they're leveraging our capabilities. Tracy?
So I guess thank you, Diego, for the introduction. I'm really thrilled to be here today. First, before we jump into it, Woodside is like many other corporates. We've got a sort of size 4 font disclaimer slide, which I encourage everyone to read really quickly. We'll get into the major content. So firstly, I guess introductions. As Diego mentioned, my name's Tracy Simpson. I lead Woodside's global supply chain organisation. Some of you may not know much about Woodside, so I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about us as a company. We're a global energy company. We're headquartered in Perth, Western Australia, and we're proudly Australian with a spirit of innovation and determination. We provide low-cost, lower-carbon energy the world needs. Our resilient and diversified portfolio will help us thrive through the global energy transition. As you can see from this slide, we've got growth opportunities across our 3 pillars of oil, gas, and new energy, and we believe that our environmental, social, and governance performance is integral to our success. Safety, reliability, efficiency, and environmental performance is at the heart of what we do, which is underpinned by more than 65 years of experience. back a slide. So now that you know a little bit about us, let's dive into some of the challenges that AWS has helped us address. Woodside Supply Chain is a complex network. As you can see, we've got lots of remotely located sites, and our suppliers are actually globally dispersed. To give you one example of perspective, let's consider the distance from LA to Portland. If any of you have taken this road trip, you'll know that it takes about 15 hours to drive the 1,000 or so miles between those 2 points. Now, if we look at the outline of Australia in comparison, you'll see that that Karratha, which is up on the top left there, is the closest, which is the closest town to one of our major production sites, Pluto, is a similar distance from our largest warehouse in Perth. And that's not all. If materials are needed for our offshore installations, like Najimian, it's that distance plus an additional 20 hours by supply boat. The materials we need are often ordered to a very defined specification and are not easily substituted. As you can appreciate, for us, site isolation plays a massive role in adding time and complexity to getting exactly what our operations need, where and when they need it. These circumstances have historically made it really challenging for us to easily know where in the supply chain our materials are and precisely when they're going to arrive at site. Like many others, as Diego was mentioning, we've also got system integration challenges to access or make relevant data very easily and quickly available. However, this also meant that we believed we could unlock value by optimizing stocking levels, streamlining business processes, and minimising the need for rework or work deferral due to late parts. Our teams told us that providing real-time visibility and tracking and tracing of our supply chain materials could positively impact our maintenance planning. Further, we believe we can generate further efficiencies by delivering needed parts quicker, cheaper, and more predictably. So why did we choose to work with AWS? So from its inception, Woodside has sought to turn challenges into opportunities and change into growth. And this closely aligned with what we believed AWS had to offer. We actually knew already the biggest problems we needed to solve, and we actually had a roadmap that was focused on delivering the business value that we needed. We actually started by engaging AWS ProServe to help us deliver some of the solutions on our roadmap, and that actually opened the door to closer cooperation with the AWS supply chain team. Collaborating with the AWS supply chain team has given us access to world-class thinkers and developers in the supply chain domain to help us solve our problems quickly and efficiently. It's enabled us to learn from the industry's best, and we've liked the access AWS has given us to scalability and speed, as well as the potential to leverage technologies like like a generative AI in the future. So how's it worked out? So we've worked with AWS, as Diego was mentioning, to actually enhance the Order Insights module within AWS Supply Chain. This has helped us to more easily and efficiently track materials that are required for our maintenance activities, from planning the work to delivering the maintenance and the materials when work commences. This new capability has been delivered to a group of users as a pilot that's currently live, so it's being used in our operations. The users include site-based staff who maintain our equipment, procurement professionals, and logisticians. Each of those groups has their own relevant view of the same data set, which is really helpful when you know that everybody's looking at the same thing. Now, this is the part of my presentation I love the most. So our people are the heart and soul of our supply chain, and I'm really proud to actually share with you what they think of the pilot and how it's going. Before we roll the video, though, I'll just mention that our team were actually so keen to get started on using the product and piloting things that they couldn't actually wait for the actual Order Insights product name to be released. So you're going to hear them use the word control tower or refer to the term control tower out throughout the video. They are, in fact, referring to the Order Insights module. It's the same thing, it's just our internal name for it.
Woodside's a global energy company. We produce energy from some of the most remote locations in Australia and even in the world. Supply chain, I believe, is the lifeblood of Woodside. We have 5,000 suppliers, 70,000 line items per year. We have over 60,000 items in inventory. And if the supply chain doesn't work, then Woodside doesn't work. It's as simple as that.
We are currently at Karratha Gas Plant. It is hot, it's remote. The supply chain is critical to what we do. If we don't have the parts, we can't do the work. So control tower for maintenance is going to be a game changer.
Control tower is a tool that's going to link the supply chain process from the beginning to the end. It gives us confidence that we're going to actually know where the material is going to be and when the material is going to arrive at all sites.
Control tower provides accuracy, visibility. It highlights constraints that need to be worked on, and everyone can see exactly the same status for where things are at.
The way the control tower is being designed is similar like Amazon. The feel, the look, and the facility to find the product, the materials. The control tower is not a shopping tool, but the feel and look is similar. Technology
is vital to Woodside, and we're really proud. The products we're building with AWS will allow us to do our job better.
It makes a significant difference because this basically means maintenance teams will have to spend less time chasing materials and allow us to do what we do best, which is delivering safe and reliable maintenance to Woodside.
Great, so I really love that video because it shows you our people. Those are real people, they're not staged actors. And they're doing that, you know, that's in the environment, that's the work environment they're in. The tool is actually helping them do their jobs day in, day out. And so it's great really to see it come to life and see it being used in that way. So now you've heard from our people, I'm actually going to walk you through the product just in a little bit more detail. We'll sort of skim through things. Briefly for context though, before we kind of jump straight into the tool, and I appreciate not everybody in this room is oil and gas, so our business uses maintenance work orders to keep our equipment safe and operational. So a work order provides all the necessary information about a maintenance task, and it outlines the process for completing the work. It also details the materials required to actually perform the job. So today I'm actually going to ask you to use your imagination for a minute. You're all maintenance professionals, you're maintenance planners, you want to understand where your materials are for an upcoming work scope. You want to check if the parts are going to arrive on time and if there's anything you need to pay attention to or any action you need to take. And so this is where the Order Insights module will kick in. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to filter based on your specific area of responsibility, which might be your location, a campaign number, a work site, and so on. Now you're going to quickly want to understand where any problems might lie. You can do this using the filters up there, so you've got all, late, at risk, etc. Think of this sort of filtering system as a way to dive quickly into being able to see the wood from the trees. So late will show you work orders that are actually predicted to have late arriving time. So effectively, they will arrive on site after the work commences. Those might need some immediate attention, and there may be things you can do to actually assist in that. So for example, a vendor who's running late, you may be able to actually intervene and arrange air freight from Europe, for example, to get the parts through and on time for when that activity needs to take place. Ideally, though, you want to be in an environment where there's a limited number of materials running late. So one of the things our teams really like is the at-risk filter. So that actually gives you the opportunity to get in front of things, and it kind of helps you address issues that could become a problem if you don't take action. So for example, you may have a purchase order that hasn't actually been accepted by a vendor yet. Knowing that information means you can chase that up, and will depend on your organisation structure. It could be with your procurement team, it could be with a vendor directly. The beauty of these simple features is that they help our teams very quickly identify the issues that are either occurring right now or have the potential to become a problem in the future. And it's all done at a click of a button. They're not trawling through multiple systems to try to get that information out and understand what they need to do. So as I mentioned before, people are at the heart of our supply chain, performing different roles, and each role has an equally important part. So whilst you've just played the role of a maintenance planner, you could easily have been a logistician or a procurement professional. The beauty is that all of the data is actually arranged in a way that makes most sense for the individual who's taking a look at it. So for example, a logistics coordinator might be interested in materials that are in a shipping phase, while a procurement professional might be interested in which purchase orders have been issued on time. Now imagine one of the team has identified a maintenance work order that they're interested in and it's at risk. They can quickly expand to see all the materials that are required for the work order. And in particular, I want to draw your attention to here, where down the bottom right, where there's a site delivery date, so that's the date it's predicted to arrive at site, and it's compared to when it's actually required on site. That's a key driver that our teams are using to really try and identify which are the areas they need to pay attention. And if a team member really wants to dive into the details of a specific item which might be critical to perform a particular task, they can click on the material, they can see where it is in the process, and importantly, they can start to identify what it's actually going to take to get it to site on time. We're not going to get into the details on this slide, but Order Insights will help capture data at every single stage of a supply chain process. And so that might help somebody who really wants to deep dive today to understand what the issues are, but it's also going to help us actually in the future or tomorrow try and identify what are the things that we need to do to improve. So what I've shown you might seem like really simple concepts, and they are effectively, but to be honest, that's the beauty of Order Insights. So it consumes a vast amount of data that sits in different parts of our systems that can be difficult to access. It provides our teams with a quick and easy way to see just what they need to see to keep things moving. And in turn, that means that we as supply chain are actually supporting our maintenance team to address and understand what it is that we need to do to support our teams to perform their maintenance. So what's next? There's always a what's next. So for now, we're going to explore scaling the product, actually to fit the size and global footprint of all of Woodside's operations. And we're looking at using generative AI to help our people make the best business decisions to return the highest possible value. We also hope to use Order Insights to better integrate with our suppliers and help our business further optimise Woodside Energy's supply chain. From where I stand, the future is bright. Our teams are really excited about what's coming next. And on that note, I'm going to hand you back to Diego.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. So yes, we're very excited about where we're going to go next between Woodside and us. And there's a lot of other capabilities that we're starting to dive into and starting to brainstorm with the team. So I also want to thank Adam, who's here, who's been very key and relevant for this project to be successful. So thank you, Adam, for also flying all the way from Australia to be here with us today. So thanks for that. So as Tracy mentioned, we really want to continue to expand in terms of what we're going to do. And Woodside is a fantastic story, but there's multiple stories like Woodside that we've been able to cover over the last couple of days here at re:Invent. And we continue to have additional sessions that we'll cover later today and also tomorrow. But before I go into that, one of the areas that I wanted to help you visualize is that with insights and work order insights, and it's fascinating how Tracy explained it about the name control tower and order insights. The capabilities are so deep that can really help you to have that complete visibility to how you're going to move products end to end to the final destination. Now, as we continue to progress our application upstream, and customers love the simplicity of our product and ask us to do those same levels of simplifications in terms of how we address data, how we position information in real time for our customers to be more successful. We want to make sure that the collaboration is something that we're very focused on right now. And what I mean by that in terms of collaboration is with one of the products that we released today, we're going to be able to have a much better collaboration between us and customers and be able to, while we generate purchase orders or while we consume purchase orders that are being generated from other systems, we're going to be able to use them and provide that visibility to them, suppliers at any level of the supply chain are going to be able to respond to those requirements, being able to connect that information back to us, respond to new requests or challenges that we might have in terms of, hey, there's an emergency, an ad hoc requirement, or suppliers might say to us, I don't have enough inventory yet to be able to fulfill the purchase order. I might need to break it down into multiple shipments in the next couple of months. So it's very exciting that we're able to provide all that visibility to customers as we continue to expand. We will continue to leverage Gen AI and capabilities to be able to use that data in a much safer, secure way. We believe the capabilities of Gen AI are going to open a different way to how we're going to leverage the foundational capabilities of our product. And we believe that with the data, in the quality and the quantity of our data, we're going to be able to make sure that Gen AI can provide the right level of information for customers. So we're very excited about the future. So what I wanted to do next is really invite you today to continue to learn more about AWS Supply Chain. There's multiple talks today. Tracy will be in one of those innovation talks today with Dilip Kumar, our VP of AWS Supply, VP of Applications, sorry, that are going to talk about different applications that we have in AWS. We're also going to have another session later today that is going to talk about how Amazon Connect and AWS Supply Chain work together. And also tomorrow we're going to have another session about talking in a much more detail how we are able to integrate different systems with AWS Supply Chain. So there's a lot of content that we have. We also have a booth that here in the applications area that you can come and connect with us. And we have our experts in our team that are waiting to be anxiously discussing more opportunities with you guys. So I think that in the next couple of days, I encourage you to contact us and explore more about how can we help your companies be more resilient, more effective, and serve your customers better. So with that being said, I want to say thank you very much. Thank you for coming to our session, and looking forward to connecting with you today after this session or in any of the areas where our team will be. Thank you very much.